Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
SurfNet Communications. If you're looking for internet and you live in a rural area, an outside area, and you're looking for fast internet, these is the guys you want to call, all right? The link is up over at kzoz.com. Just click on it right at the poll question. Over 15 years of experience, and they will get you connected with speeds faster than DSL or satellite.
Yeah, and if you live like up in Oak Shores and you don't have the SurfNet Communications, then you're not privy to the journalistic quality of the KZOZ poll question. Today we are asking you, bagels, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Oh, I see. It's changed since this morning.
Toasted or untoasted?
Okay, I think it's come around. It has come around. Thank God. I mean, this morning it was 72% were saying untoasted.
What?
Gross! The hell? It's just dough. You got to have it toasted. You got to have it toasted, right?
The worst bagel known to man is the Starbucks bagel. But this is the argument for toasted, okay? Have you ever gotten the Starbucks bagel but been in a hurry? And then they're like, do you want it toasted? And you're like, I don't want to wait for the toast. Just go ahead and give it to me. And
I always get it toasted.
You have to get it toasted.
Yeah, I wait.
Because it is the worst bagel on the planet. I don't know what.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's been.
Worse than the grocery store bagels you buy in the stack? You eat those raw, it's like eating dough.
Those are better. Like you're talking about a 6-pack of bagels.
Yeah. You get I get the everything, better. And it's just
those are not great, but they're
you're
better.
Saving money and you're getting more for your dollar.
Starbucks bagel is usually hard, but not from the toasting of it. You have to toast it to reconstitute it back to something that is eatable. But edible? I've done it. Eatable, edible. You make the call on that one.
Well, you're teaching the youth of America. I would like you to get it right. It's edible. It's not eatable.
I'm not a teacher.
You're raising kids. You know what I mean.
And anyways, the bagel is so bad, but if you toast it, it's palpable.
And you gotta
have
something on it.
So you can fix any bagel. Now there are bagels that are good. Deli bagels are okay when they're not toasted, but they're even better when they're toasted.
Yeah, I just can't do any bagel untoasted.
Fresh bagel is okay.
Like we used to get bagels here
at Vaughn's.
Yeah, or they would. Yeah, we Vaughn's or somebody else. I don't know. We get bagels here.
Sometimes the boss will buy
House of Bagels.
yeah.
And even House of Bagels, I have to toast it. But they're so much better. And you only toast the one side. Tim writes in, has to be the toasted side. The cut side only should be toasted. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, if somebody screws with the bagel setting, because we have one of those toasters, bagel or regular, and so it'll turn off the one side, and you got to know what side you're doing. You do the wrong side, it's not as good. But, man, it's got to be toasted. There's got to be a lot of cream cheese on it. Or butter. But cream cheese. Otherwise, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Like, if you said, do you want a bagel toasted without any cream cheese on it? And I'd say, no, I don't want a bagel at all then. It's got to have cream cheese on it.
If it's the right type of bagel, you can make it work. Like an everything bagel, it's got enough flavor to it.
Maybe some butter, but I got to have something. It's too dry.
You can go without. You can go say, well, that's because you're toasting everything. Now, I will say this. Okay, if you're going to eat a bagel with nothing on it, if it's a fresh deli bagel, a la Hobags or Vaughn's, then you can eat it without anything on it, but you don't want to toast it because you're toasting it, you're drying it out. But if you get the moisture inside the bagel of a fresh bagel, that can be tasty.
I guess I just haven't had the moisture of a fresh bagel before. KZOZ.com, toasted or untoasted, 66, almost 67% of people are now saying that, yeah, you got to toast that bagel. Got to toast that thing. What are your toppings you like on bagels? For me, it's just cream cheese.
Topping?
Or salmon. Topping. I'll do smoked salmon locs.
There's no toppings you put on bagels? People putting pineapple on bagels?
Well, no. Cream cheese is a topping. How about that?
That's it. I have done butter, and I could see, not that I've ever done it, but I could see.
Done peanut butter. It's been pretty good.
Nice, pub cheese spread on it.
Mm. Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Like the pub cheese you get at Trader Joe's?
I've never had that pub cheese.
What?
Is it in a jar?
It's in a
plastic container.
Yeah, plastic container. And it's in the deli
Trader Joe's and all this environmental crap, and they got all this plastic they're selling. I know a lot of stuff.
It's in a plastic container, like it would be like a cottage cheese container. And you get the pub cheese, and it's really good with those pretzel rolls that they get there. But it's really good on the right type of bagel. Now, Trader Joe's used to have a bagel that was a pretzel bagel. Amazing. Don't have it anymore.
Yeah, pretzel bagels for the win.
What the hell? Like, get the pretzel bagel back, please, Trader Joe's. I mean, you sell the pub cheese. The pub cheese comes in a sharp cheddar variety. It comes in a horseradish cheddar variety. It comes in a jalapeno cheddar variety.
I got to go to Trader Joe's today.
It's so good.
I'm going to go buy some tea.
So good.
And I'm going to go look for this pub cheese. Where's it at? In the cold section?
In the refrigerated section. Buy the cheese. Buy any other cheeses. It's kind of
in a tub.
It's up high. You might need to get a stool or something.
Oh, okay. Well, I can reach the top of the Trader Joe's shelf. Yes, at least at the one on Roy Grande.
You might need to recruit some help.
They have bruschetta there in a tub too. It looks like cottage cheese tub.
That stuff is
for
great.
Butter. That would be good on there as well.
On a right kind of bagel, like a pesto bagel, that would be amazing. Okay, I'm coming around to the toppings discussion.
Yeah, you got to do toppings on bagels.
Okay.
It's a vessel for whatever you're going to put on it. KZOZ.com to vote there. All right, Green Day, Don Henley, and when we come back, also things we didn't get to in hashtag form.
Celebrate. This is going to be very hard.
Celebratory?
A celebrity celebrating a birthday today, a Central Coast celebrity. I would argue one of the more famous people to ever grow up on the Central Coast, celebrating a landmark birthday today.
It's not Zac Efron, obviously, because I know he's not 50.
No.
But he's the most famous celebrity I thought that came from the Central Coast.
What about one Mark Brunell? Mark Brunell grew up in Orchid.
The football player?
Yeah, well, the most famous quarterback in Jacksonville history, even though we illustrated earlier, it's just a 25-year history, but he is the most famous quarterback to ever play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Will that change with Gardner Minshew? Only time will tell. But, and the funny thing about this is you have one Husky and one Coug. This is an Apple Cup thing going on down in Jacksonville. Like, Gardner might be there to unseat the most popular quarterback of all time because
is he the most popular quarterback of all time
for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Name another quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, I mean,
you can't say Blake Bortles. Because he was a bust. Bortles the bust.
I would love that more than anything. Being a Washington State Cougar, I would love to see that Husky fall in his face.
Mark Brunell, he makes his home now in Jacksonville. He
does?
He's a high school coach in Jacksonville, and he does a weekly radio show in Jacksonville. Yeah. But if he was, believe me, Blake Bortles couldn't do a weekly radio show in Jacksonville.
Born and raised Santa Maria.
Yes.
Rigetti High.
No, St. Joe's.
St. Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry, St. Joe.
St. Joe's really mad.
It's not that I have something against you, St. Joe. It's just I have something against the guy that went to a terrible university. Huskies, losers.
Actually,
they're winners.
I think he was the 4th overall pick in the draft that year, so I think it panned out nicely for Mark Brunell.
It's just it's like when people know they're better than you and they flaunt it. That's what a Husky is. They're just worthless.
50th birthday for Mark Brunell. Happy birthday to you, sir. I don't know. It's kind of a downer because I believe if I don't know what St. Joe's status is because I know that it's a private school. But I don't know what capacity they're going back to school, but I believe there would be or should be some kind of ceremony today for Mark Brunell, who arguably is the most notable alumni for St. Joseph's High School. And I'll look that up right now because I could be speaking out of term. I think a lot of people probably went to St. Joe's.
Hashtag while you look that up, Saturday Night Live coming back. Let's executive producer Lorne Michaels announced that Alec Baldwin will be back to play President Donald Trump. Maya Rudolph will be playing Kamala Harris. Is it Kamala?
Sure.
Kamala.
Sure.
I think it's Kamala. Kamala Harris. I apologize. I'm getting familiar with her name. And former Vice President Joe Biden will be played by the one and only Jim Carrey. Jeff and I were just sitting here having a conversation about this. And on one aspect, he's great at impersonations. On the other side of things, he's a very strong liberal and probably Joe Biden supporter. So will he really get in to make fun of Joe Biden?
Will he get after it?
Alec Baldwin is going to make fun of Trump because that's what makes it really funny. And your theory, I think, is pretty good.
What's that?
What we could see.
Oh, yeah, I think there will be a bleed over of one of Jim Carrey's most famous characters, and that is Fire Marshal Bill.
I'm really bad at impressions. Here is Woody Harrelson when he did Joe Biden.
Terrible.
Back in the day.
Just terrible.
I am so excited to be here. I'm glad we're doing this. The vast majority of people in America are not homophobic. They're just scared of gay people. Look,
He kind of sounds like
you
him.
know me. I went to bat for marriage
Not at all.
equality.
In the beginning, he did.
This just sounds like
Listen to the
sounds like
beginning.
Woody Harrelson.
I am so excited to be here. I'm glad,
Right there. See, that's a little bit.
glad we're doing this. The
No.
vast majority of people.
Yeah, he does sound a
Terrible.
lot like Woody Harrelson.
Sudeikis wasn't good at it either.
Here's Sudeikis.
Well, I'll be honest. Losing Iowa was a real kick in the nuts.
Oh, Harrison's better.
All right? But I am not worried at all because, by the time we get to South Kakalaki,
Okay, whatever. But these three people, I think they can pull it off. I'm pretty sure Jim Carrey will be a great Biden. I know Maya, because she played, she's already done a Kamala Harris, I think. She'll be great. So
I think
Baldwin's
Mark Brunell is the most famous person that went to St. Joe's because,
did you go to Wikipedia?
yeah. So what I have is Mark Brunell tops the list, by the way. He's at the very top. Tom Reeder. He was a lineman for the New England Patriots and the New York Giants back in the late 80s, early 90s. About the same time Mark Brunell probably played. Let's see here. I think he played on the same team as Brunell. So they were stacked then. Billy Seamus, he's a former professional baseball pitcher. Played a little bit for the White Sox in the late 90s. Now he's the pitching coach for the AAA Oklahoma City Dodgers. He's the pitching coach. So he could work his way up into the big organization. And if he did work his way up into the big organization, then we can have a discussion. But I think Mark Brunell, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he is in the Ring of Honor in Jacksonville. He's a Hall of Fame in Jacksonville's heart. And then Mark Velasquez, who is a photographer. So I think Mark Brunell has got the title hands down as the most famous alumni from St. Joe's. Happy birthday to you, Mark Brunell. Plus, Mark Brunell holds the world record for throwing a hot dog.
That's right. I do remember that.
Throwing a hot dog.
That's what a Husky's good for, is breaking records, throwing hot dogs.
See, why do you got to go there?
Because I
with
do.
Mark Brunell.
And if there's anybody that went to the University of Washington here, I hope this is bothering you immensely. By the way, I was looking up famous alum of high schools.
Because all you'd have to do is compare Mark Brunell's career to Ryan Leaf's career and be like, okay, never mind. If you're a kook.
Why do you got to bring up that name? No, why bring up the RL?
Who's the better NFL quarterback, Drew Bledsoe or Mark Brunell? Who do you think? I don't know.
Probably.
I think that's a coin toss.
Yeah, I don't know either. Let's just leave it at that.
Drew Bledsoe went to a Super Bowl. I don't think Mark Brunell went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did as a Jet. I don't know. He was a Jet for a while.
This is nobody cares.
What, Mark Brunell?
You and I.
He's like one of the most famous people from this area.
I'm looking at
him and Robin Ventura. I mean, that's what you got.
what is Jeff Kingman, Adam Smith, some guy named Steve Poole, and Gary Ridgway have in common?
They're all more famous than me.
The most famous alumni to graduate from Tyee High School. That's Tyee in SeaTac, Washington. Gary Ridgway, if you're not familiar with that name, but it sounds familiar.
He is the most famous of the bunch.
He is the Green River Killer. Went to Jeff's high school.
Not at the same time.
Steve Poole is a weather guy who would fill in on ABC News. The Good Morning America? Is that ABC? I think it's Good Morning America. He's a Seattle weather guy who would fill in on Good Morning America.
In the 80s and 90s he would fill in? Come on.
What was the guy's name with the jelly, the Smucker's jelly, the guy that did the weather forever? On Good Morning America, the old guy.
No, that was he was on NBC. He was on the Today Show.
Oh, did Al Roker fill in or take over for him?
Yes.
Oh,
Willard Scott.
Okay, I don't know who the person on ABC was then.
Yeah. So Steve Poole is like the poorest of man's Willard Scotts.
Yeah,
and he was not that good.
Yeah. Hi, you're on the air.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mark Brunell won a Super Bowl ring. He was a backup. He was a backup that never played, but I believe, I don't know whether it was New Orleans or maybe even the Patriots.
Did he do
somebody? He's actually a Super Bowl, winning quarterback.
Yep, he
Although
got
he
his
didn't play.
first and only Super Bowl ring with the Saints when they won against the Indianapolis Colts.
And he was
There
on the
you
bench
go.
In 2010.
Was he on the bench?
Yep.
Yeah, he was on the bench.
He's
Hey, he's got a Super Bowl ring, though. That's cool.
Napoleon Kaufman is from the Central Coast as
That's
well.
how Huskies do it. Huskies ride the coattails.
How many Super Bowl rings?
And Robin Ventura.
Yeah.
He's also really big here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, Robin. We know Robin. Our buddy's friends with him. I played foosball against Robin, and he tried to put
Name
me...
dropping time. Here we go.
And then I
Here we go.
I
Name
came at
dropping.
him like I was going to put him in a
This is what
chokehold,
Jeremy
and he
does.
ran away.
When you bring up a name that you respect, Jeremy's going to try to tie it together and be like, oh, yeah, please. I play beer pong with him all the time.
I said foosball, not beer
Whatever,
pong.
beer pong, foosball, it doesn't matter.
It's a true story. We were tailgating at a Cal Poly
But that
game.
doesn't make you friends. That just makes you acquaintances, if that. Loose
I
acquaintances.
didn't say I was friends with him. I just said I met him once. And I came at him with a headlock and he ran away.
But the way you say it when somebody brings it up as somebody who's famous and has accomplished a lot in their life, he's just bringing it up as a fact, and you're like, oh yeah, I know him.
All right.
Oh yeah, I know him. Pfft, please,
It's more important.
I'm
things
more
to talk
important than
about.
you because I know him. You just know of him.
You know what? We're running out of time. We'll just save everything for tomorrow. It's more important for me to talk
You
about
have nothing to say to that.
people that I know and
You
just
have
to make fun
nothing
of me.
to say to that about that name drop.
I just said he brought it up. I didn't name drop
Yeah,
him.
but
I
you-
just said, yeah, I met him.
I
I know he's from here.
You one-upped to the one-up extreme there.
Because I said I had a
Oh,
friend.
I know him.
I know a guy that's
I
friends with
know him.
I played foosball against him.
Yeah, I know him. Mark Brunell never invited me over to his beer pong table.
It was really about the headlock joke, but you just talked over it and you blew my joke. So.
I played foosball with him. I shared a tri-tip with him.
I never said anything about tri-tip.
We ate spaghetti like we were Lady in the Tramp.
93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Famous people from the Central Coast. The Iceman, Chuck Liddell, Early Bird Jim says.
And Jeremy
Most famous athlete from the Central Coast.
Yeah. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, he was so big in MMA, but is MMA
He's in movies.
anywhere near what
He's been
the
doing
NFL
movies now.
is?
He's been on reality TV. A couple different times.
I'm waiting for the moment that you had a drink with him or something like that, I'm waiting for that moment. I'm waiting for
I did have a drink with him. He invited me to his birthday
Who's this,
party.
Chuck?
Jeremy Hobnobs.
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy Hobnobs with the...
I just can't help it. If I get invited, I go. I don't want to be
Well,
rude.
he's been in the building. I've hobnobbed with him.
Yeah.
I asked him who came up with the name for pride fighting. You remember that name?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, pride.
It's like, okay, that name has been used by... how did you come
by a
up
group
with
of guys in San Francisco, and now we're pride fighting in the ring.
Just like all the words, you couldn't find another one,
Is that?
When you win a fight, do you have a parade? I mean, I don't know.
So you associate the word pride with that and not...
Yeah, gay pride.
Okay.
Oh, I think everybody does now.
No, I can
which
understand
is
that.
fine. Not a problem, but it's
But
just like...
man, that culture was
those
able
words.
to take a word and just totally make it its own. I mean,
Like Kleenex did to tissue, buddy.
because I have a lot of...
Well, you're fighting for pride?
Like,
it didn't
Jeremy
make any
has
sense.
a lot of pride in the fact that he hobnobs with celebrities of the Central Coast. But he can't use that word.
Yeah, well,
'Cause the connotation that you
I'm not a
associate with
hobnobber.
it.
I'm not a hobnobber.
What, you're playing beer pong with Robin Ventura?
I was foosball.
Oh,
Again,
foosball.
not beer pong.
well, I mean,
Having
in our
Chuck-
We had a
industry,
mutual friend. He introduced me. We played some foosball, and Robin Ventura kicked my ass.
we tend to meet somewhat famous people, especially musicians,
Right.
and what
have-
we do.
You know, Chuck. He came in here, invited you to his birthday as well. You didn't go. I went. It was a native back in the old days.
Nope.
You didn't go?
No.
Oh, well.
No, I don't.
Sure, you missed a
not my scene.
knockdown,
Mike says-
drag-out party.
Mike says, your buddy Ron Cap. See, now Mike's starting to sound like you.
Jeremy loves to drop
buddy.
the Ron caps. Like didn't you share a bed with him or something like that?
Yeah.
Stop. No, I did not.
I thought we were done with the pride conversation.
No, I just went down to the races and did that. We did the show there, or I did the show from there. You were here.
Were they drag races?
Did you take?
This really is coming full
Did you
circle.
take a lot of pride in going to your drag race?
It really is coming full circle.
You know who loves the whole drag race thing that you guys went to?
RuPaul?
Ron Caps is our friend Jason Pooch. He still talks about that to this day.
Oh,
yeah,
having
Jason's down
met
with
him
me.
or something?
Stephen Piercy from Rat was there. He thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
You know, some people live for that. That's why
there's-
the Kardashians get famous, because people just live for that.
I mean, here we are.
celebrity thing.
I was a big when I was a kid. My dad used to take me up to SIR, which is the racetrack in Seattle, and we watched guys like John Force, who was still pretty young in his career. When I was 5 years old, and then I got to sit down there and I get to, here comes Stephen Piercy and Jesse James, from whatever that show was he did.
I wonder what Jesse James is doing now.
He's married to Eva Longoria, who is I believe they're still married.
Eva Longoria? He went from Sandra Bullock to Eva Longoria.
Not Eva Longoria, Alexis DeJoria.
Same thing.
Alexis DeJoria. Sorry.
Who's that?
It's my brain. When you do this for 14 years with a guy named Jeff, your brain goes to mush.
I thought he...
Alexis DeJoria. Her dad owns the tequila company, Patron, and Paul Mitchell.
Nice.
Anyways.
You know what sucks is when your name's Jesse James?
Well, speaking of famous people, I actually met Paul Mitchell. Of course, I worked in Malibu, and he looked just like the pictures you see of him.
I think he died.
Well, this was like 25 years ago.
Yeah, he died, and this guy was his partner, and now...
I had nothing to do with that.
He was his partner?
Business partner.
Oh, partner in pride.
Here we go.
I don't think Paul was
Pride
that
for the
way.
business.
Can I tell you the funniest story? Can I tell you the funniest story?
Come on, man.
You know plenty of hairdressers.
I got to tell you this story, and I love Arturo, and I haven't seen him in a long time. But Arturo is a local celebrity. Arturo Santiago was the
a great story.
Was the lead anchor man down on CBS out of Santa Maria for a number of years. And we met at a bar, and he came down to the races with me, and we're sitting there. And he's a celebrity of his own right.
We knew Arturo because we grew up watching Arturo on TV in Seattle. He was a reporter.
Oh, see, I didn't know you had that connection. I wondered why you guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're sitting at Bill's place in Roy Grande, loaded, just singing karaoke. And here comes this guy comes walking the door. I go, Jesus Christ, Arturo Santiago, Jeff. And I go, where's Dennis Bounds? And that was the other guy that worked with him in Seattle. And sure enough, it was him, and he was just the nicest guy. We became very good friends.
So did you even know he was in Santa Maria?
I found out that night that he was moving down here to be in Santa Maria, and we became friends. And then, so we'd hang out all the time. He went down to the race with me, and Ron got us all set up with a spot there in RV Row, and we're broadcasting from the thing, and Stephen Percy's there, and all the race guys are there, John Force and all that.
Was that
and then
the time you took an RV down?
Yeah. I had 4 times. Did it 4 times, believe it or not. But this time, Jesse James goes by, and Arturo loses it. He's like, Jesse! And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Who is that?
Awesome.
He goes, Jesse James, man. Jesse James turns around, kept walking.
Well, yeah, who's
Arturo
this guy?
sat down, and he was kind of like, wow, man, that's it? I thought he'd at least come over and say hi. And I'm like, you're going to be okay,
Doesn't he know
right?
who you are?
I'm like, you're a big-time star. Don't let that bother you.
I think
Arturo
I did that.
Santiago.
I did that once at a Bruce Springsteen concert when, of all people, Bill Walton walks by. He's hard to miss.
Yeah,
7 feet, red hair. Like, wow, look, Bill Walton. And, like the woman he was with said something to me, and I didn't really hear it. I wasn't going to press it.
Seeing famous people that we just...
But, I mean, a 7 foot, red haired famous person. Yeah.
But we just feel this need to belt out their name like we know them. And then we have nothing to follow up with.
Well, the thing that occurred to me was that, yes, he knows who he is.
Hey, Bill Walton!
How do you react? Yes, I am.
Hey, you're Jesse James! Uh-huh.
You are correct, sir.
No, he was, Jesse!
Yeah. I look at you. I don't know you. What am I supposed to do?
The ultimate embarrassment was we'd have celebrities come through the rental car place in Seattle. Brendan Fraser's from Seattle. Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
And he came through and he rented a car once when he was coming to visit his family. And the girl I work with looks at him and she goes, "Hey, I know you." And he's like, "How?" And she goes, "You're in movies or something, right?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And she goes, "Wow, that's cool." And
left it at that?
She didn't even know his name, which was awesome.
Well, it's funny how you say, "I know you." You don't know them. You've seen.
He's like, "All right, have a good night." And she's like, "Okay."
You know what I think it feels like? Because people have come up to us and go, "Oh, you're the guy on the radio." Nope. I just keep walking. But because you don't know what to say, because it's so awkward. It's like when you walk up to somebody and they see you, and they're like, "Oh my God, we went to high school together." And you're like, I have no idea who this person is.
Well, I've had people do that here, and I went to high school nowhere near here.
Yeah. And then that's
awesome.
it. That's all they say.
Like, "No, I'm not from here, so leave me alone."
Yeah, and it's like, I hate to burst your
Jim
bubble.
says, I ran into Jeff from Jeff and Jeremy.
Who?
At Grocery Outlet.
Yeah,
That's all he said.
Market.
Yeah. That's all he said.
He did. He said, "You shop here?" I said, "Yep."
No, I just hang out.
We got a minute. We're going to take this call. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I don't know on this sports thing, did anybody throw out Ozzie Smith's name? He used to play baseball for Cal Poly, St. Louis Cardinal.
Does that count if they come
It's not really from...
Yeah, because, I mean, you could go through it, you could say a lot of people that
John
play
Madden.
Cal Poly sports, yeah. But are they from the area? Did they grow up or go to high school in the area?
Okay.
Which I know that Mark Brunell was from Los Angeles originally, moved up here with his family, and then, now no longer lives in this area. So it's not like he's got really strong ties to the area. Like, I would argue that Chuck Liddell has a lot stronger ties to the area because he grew up down in Santa Barbara than Mark Brunell does.
There you go.
So there.
All right, well, we'll turn it over to Seth. Bagel, toasted or non-toasted?
None. Does that surprise you? Yeah.
God, not at all.
Of course.
Because then you got to wait to get the...
You know what you've done for the Midwest for me?
bagel?
I'm never going.
The bagel?
It's got to be the most boring place.
Bagel is just a vehicle for the cream cheese. And then if you toast it, you're waiting longer to get the cream cheese.
I know. I've been there
That's
before.
why I look
But then
at it.
sometimes you go to Starbucks and they give you a piece of cardboard and they say, here's your bagel. Cold cardboard.
As long as it's got the cream cheese, I really don't care.
Well, at least you're into cream cheese, not putting ketchup on it. So.
But no.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.